In today's video, we'll explore 7 essential vitamins and minerals that help you maintain healthy legs, thereby sustaining your fitness, energy, and independence in all your daily activities. These nutrients not only help you avoid aches and pains, but also enhance muscle performance, protect bones, and improve blood circulation, all crucial factors for you to continue living the life you love. Whether you enjoy dancing, taking morning walks, or simply want to pour yourself a cup of tea without assistance, this video is for you. And before we begin, please leave a comment letting me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know which state you're in, or which country if you're an international viewer. Feel free to share your questions, concerns, or your own experiences with leg health. I always read and appreciate every comment. If you love content about health, independence, and a fulfilling life in your later years, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so we don't miss any helpful tips. Let's build a community of healthier, stronger, and more independent seniors together. Because old age is not the end, but a new journey, and healthy legs are the best companion on that journey. Vitamin D, the silent key to strong legs in old age. I've worked with seniors for over 20 years now, and if you ask me what the foundational element is that most people overlook when thinking about senior health, especially leg health, I would answer immediately, vitamin D. It might sound simple, right? Just one vitamin. But in reality, vitamin D is one of the most complex and essential nutrients, which can determine whether an older adult can stand firm and walk safely. You see, aging doesn't just cause gray hair and wrinkles. It silently erodes bone density, reduces muscle mass, and even disrupts motor coordination. And a significant part of all those changes stems from a lack of vitamin D, something the body uses to synthesize naturally under sunlight. Why are we more prone to vitamin D deficiency as we age? When we're young, just a few minutes outdoors is enough for our bodies to produce the necessary amount of vitamin D. But as we age, our skin gradually loses its ability to synthesize vitamin D under the influence of UVB rays. Not to mention, many older adults spend less time outdoors, perhaps due to aches and pains, fear of falling, or simply changes in lifestyle habits. Some even avoid sunlight due to concerns about skin darkening or skin cancer, always wearing full coverage, wide-brimmed hats, and sunscreen, inadvertently blocking their chance to absorb vitamin D. What are the consequences? I've met many elderly patients who say their legs suddenly feel weak, no longer as stable as before, or tremble when they stand up or walk. They think it's just old age. But when we do blood tests, the surprising thing is that their vitamin D levels are severely low. Vitamin D deficiency not only weakens the muscles in the legs, but also slows down the coordination between muscles and nerves. This leads to imbalance and delayed reflexes, the leading cause of falls in older adults. A fall for a young person might just be a bruise, but for an older person, it can mean a hip fracture being bedridden or worse, never being able to stand up again. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism clearly shows that people with vitamin D deficiency tend to experience muscle atrophy, especially in the lower limbs. This makes simple tasks like getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or taking a few steps into garden a source of worry. Vitamin D, not just for bones, but also for muscles and the nervous system. Besides helping with calcium absorption and strengthening bones, vitamin D also plays a crucial role in transmitting signals between nerves and muscles, a vital function for the legs. It helps synthesize the protein needed for maintaining and developing muscle fibers. In particular, vitamin D helps protect and nourish fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones that help you maintain balance when you stumble and react quickly when you're about to fall. When vitamin D is deficient, these muscle fibers are most severely affected. This reduces reaction speed, making you more prone to falls, without being able to catch yourself in time. I often compare vitamin D to a silent trainer for the legs. It doesn't need your attention, but without it, your muscles become lazy, your nerves transmit signals slowly, and your entire motor system becomes disorganized. A daily dose of vitamin D could help you avoid fractures for life. You might be surprised, but the effects of vitamin D go far beyond muscle and bone strength. It has the ability to reduce inflammation, the cause of nagging pain in the knees, hips, or ankles. Many people who supplement with vitamin D notice that their legs hurt less and they can move more flexibly. If the deficiency persists, the immune system will also be affected, making you more susceptible to colds and infections. Some recent studies even suggest that vitamin D deficiency may be linked to cognitive decline and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Things no one wants to face in old age. But the good news is, improving vitamin D deficiency isn't difficult. It's actually quite easy. So what should you do? 1. Get sunlight properly. Spend 15 to 30 minutes each morning or late afternoon sunbathing. Gentle sunlight around 7 to 9 a.m. or after 4 p.m. is ideal. Don't cover up too much. Expose your arms or lower legs if possible, and you don't need sunscreen during this short period. You'll be surprised by the results. 2. Eat smart. Some foods are very rich in vitamin D, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, egg yolks, liver, and mushrooms, especially those exposed to light. In addition, vitamin D fortified milk or cereals are also convenient options. 3. Take supplements if necessary. The general recommendation is 800 to 1,000 IU per day, but for those who are already deficient or at high risk, doctors may recommend higher doses, sometimes up to 2,000 IU per day. Therefore, have your blood tested at least once a year to check your 25-hydroxyvitamin D levels, the most accurate indicator of the amount of vitamin D in your body. Our legs don't age in a day, but we can help them age slower by taking careful care of them starting today. Don't wait until you need a walker, cane, or wheelchair to look back and wish you had paid attention to your leg health sooner. With just a little sunlight, a nutritious meal, or a small daily supplement, you can stand more firmly, walk more confidently, and live an independent life without needing anyone's support. Vitamin D, simple and inexpensive, but extremely powerful. Let it become the silent companion that helps you maintain the steadiness of your old age. When we are young, our bones have a remarkable ability to regenerate quickly. Every fall, every minor impact hardly leaves any serious consequences. But as we step into our 60s and 70s, things are no longer that simple. At this stage, bones begin to gradually lose mass. The bone cavities become porous, significantly reducing their load-bearing capacity. Even a small fall or simply slipping in the bathroom can cause a hip fracture, a thigh bone fracture, or stress fractures in the lower limbs. And I'm not exaggerating. I've witnessed many elderly men and women hospitalized for months, even losing the ability to walk completely, all because of a seemingly harmless fall. One of the deepest underlying causes of this is a silent calcium deficiency that accumulates over the years. Many people think calcium is only necessary for building bones, but in reality, calcium also plays a central role in muscle contraction, meaning every movement, from standing up from a chair, maintaining balance while walking, to reacting when we stumble, all depends on the coordination between calcium ions and muscle fibers. If there's a calcium deficiency, muscles cannot function smoothly. You might experience symptoms like night cramps, weak calves, tremors, or more seriously, the inability to generate the necessary force to maintain balance, easily leading to falls. So, what's the best way to supplement calcium? I always encourage my patients to prioritize natural food sources first. Excellent sources of calcium include milk and dairy products, such as fresh milk, yogurt, and cheese. Small fish eaten with bones, like sardines. Nuts, especially almonds. Dark leafy greens, such as kale, bok choy, and spinach. Tofu and calcium-fortified plant-based milks. Try to diversify your diet to take advantage of different absorption sources. For example, the calcium in milk has high bioavailability, but the calcium from green vegetables also provides fiber and other minerals beneficial for bones and joints. However, I also understand that not everyone eats adequately. For those with poor diets, strict dietary restrictions, or poor digestive absorption, supplementation is necessary. But please remember, only supplement calcium when truly needed and always combine it with vitamin D to ensure optimal absorption. I have encountered cases of excessive calcium supplementation, up to 2,000 milligrams per day, causing bloating, constipation, and more seriously, kidney stones or calcium deposits in blood vessels, increasing the risk of cardiovascular issues. Therefore, the recommended calcium intake for people over 60 is about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day, including both food and supplements, unless specifically directed by a doctor. There's one point that few people pay attention to, but I always emphasize during consultations. Calcium only works effectively if you exercise regularly. Why? Because exercise, such as walking, lightweight training, or yoga for seniors, stimulates the body to regenerate bone and directs calcium to where it's needed. If you only supplement calcium without exercising, the calcium may not reach the bones but accumulate in soft tissues, something no one wants. Finally, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. Calcium deficiency not only weakens bones, it robs older adults of their freedom of movement, independence, and joy of life. Over the years, I've seen many patients who were once active, driving themselves to the market, tending their gardens, and strolling the park every afternoon, suddenly confined to a wheelchair due to an injury caused by weak bones. Don't let that happen to you or your loved ones. Pay attention to your daily calcium intake. Combine it with an active lifestyle and get regular health checkups. Taking care of your bones and joints is an investment in steady steps and fulfilling old age. If you need me to share more about how to build a calcium-rich menu or exercises that support bone health, don't hesitate to ask. I want to share something with you that I find many older adults are overlooking: the vital role of vitamin B12 in motor health and the nervous system, especially in the legs. With over 20 years of experience in elderly care, I've witnessed numerous cases of older men and women experiencing walking difficulties, balance issues, and numbness in their limbs, without realizing that the root cause lies in a seemingly small micronutrient, vitamin B12. When we think about the health of our legs, most people immediately think of muscles, bones, or even blood circulation. But there's a silent yet crucial factor: the nervous system, and vitamin B12 is indispensable for this system to function correctly. B12 is directly involved in maintaining protective sheath around nerve fibers, much like the insulation of an electrical wire. When this protective layer weakens or is damaged due to B12 deficiency, signals from the brain cannot be transmitted accurately down the spinal cord and to the legs, leading to slow reflexes, muscle weakness, altered sensation, and a tendency to lose balance. I once treated a 74-year-old woman who used to walk regularly every day. Suddenly, she felt her legs were heavy as if weighed down by stones, experienced tingling in the soles of her feet and calves, along with unexplained fatigue. Blood test results showed she had a severe vitamin B12 deficiency, and after a period of proper supplementation, these symptoms improved significantly. She was able to take walks again, cook for herself, and happily return to her daily life. This is a story I encounter quite often. B12 deficiency in older adults is not uncommon because its absorption process is very complex. To absorb B12, the body needs enough stomach acid to break down food and release B12, and then it needs intrinsic factor produced by the stomach lining to transport B12 to where it's needed. However, as we age, stomach acid levels naturally decrease, coupled with conditions like gastritis, acid reflux, or long-term use of antacids, which further impairs B12 absorption. Additionally, some older adults eat simple diets with little meat or fish, or follow a vegetarian diet, making them even more susceptible to deficiency. When you are deficient in B12, you may experience very specific symptoms in your legs, such as a heavy feeling in the calves, making walking difficult, numbness or tingling in the feet or toes, loss of sensation when walking, making it easy to slip or lose balance, muscle weakness, difficulty standing or moving for long periods. If not treated promptly, B12 deficiency can cause irreversible nerve damage, meaning once the nerves are damaged, they cannot be fully repaired. And at that point, walking or maintaining balance becomes extremely difficult, increasing the risk of falls, one of the greatest dangers for older adults. However, the good news is that proper B12 supplementation can significantly improve motor health. Many studies have shown that older adults with B12 deficiency experience a noticeable improvement in muscle strength, endurance, and motor coordination when they receive adequate supplementation. In fact, many of my patients have shared that they feel more energetic, less tired, and can return to their favorite activities like grocery shopping, gardening, or taking their grandchildren for walks. So, where should we get B12 from? Vitamin B12 is only found naturally in animal-based foods, such as lean meat and animal liver, especially beef liver, fish and seafood, especially shellfish like clams and mussels, eggs and dairy products like fresh milk, yogurt, and cheese. If you're a vegetarian or have a diet restricted in animal protein, I recommend using B12 supplements or B12 fortified foods like plant-based milk and breakfast cereals. A special feature of B12 is that it is water-soluble, meaning any excess is excreted by the body through urine, making supplementation relatively safe with little risk of harmful accumulation. However, to ensure effectiveness, I always advise patients to regularly monitor their blood vitamin B12 levels, especially when experiencing neurological symptoms or abnormal signs in their legs. Regular blood tests will help doctors accurately assess the level of deficiency and develop an appropriate supplementation plan. In summary, healthy legs depend not only on muscles, bones, and good footwear, but also on a nervous system that functions accurately, has sharp reflexes, and coordinates smoothly. And that can only be achieved if the body has enough vitamin B12 to nourish those nerves. Don't wait until your limbs are numb, you lose balance, or you frequently stumble to start paying attention to B12. Today, you can review your diet, supplement properly, and proactively protect the health of your legs for an active, independent, and joyful old age. If you need my support in creating a B12 rich meal plan or suggestions on how to supplement appropriately for your health condition, I am always ready to help. Magnesium, the silent key to healthy legs and peaceful sleep in old age. Throughout my 20-plus years of working with thousands of seniors, one thing has often struck me. So many people live with nighttime leg cramps, calves that suddenly tighten as if in a vice, or a persistent urge to move their legs when they should be resting, without anyone suspecting that the cause lies in a tiny mineral, magnesium. Magnesium is often considered an unsung hero in the world of vitamins and minerals, but in reality, it's a quiet friend always working diligently to keep the body, especially the legs, running smoothly every day. It helps muscles contract and relax rhythmically, preventing stiffness and sudden spasms. If magnesium is deficient, signals from the brain to legs can be easily disrupted, leading to abnormal reactions like cramps, nighttime muscle contractions, or even restless leg syndrome, a condition that makes your legs feel like they can't sit still, causing prolonged insomnia. I once met a 73-year-old female patient, Mrs. Lon, who shared, "I dread going to bed, doctor. As soon as I lie down, my calves start twitching uncontrollably. Some nights I have to stay awake, because no matter how much I massage them, they don't settle down." After testing and supplementing with magnesium, within just 2 weeks, she was able to sleep through the night and wake up without feeling like her legs have been hurtling all night. Magnesium not only affects muscles, but also plays a role in maintaining bone density. You may have heard a lot about calcium, but few people know that calcium cannot get to the right place without enough magnesium. Instead of being incorporated into bones, calcium can accumulate in soft tissues, causing calcification, stiff joints, or kidney stones. Meanwhile, when there is sufficient magnesium, the body knows how to direct calcium to where it's needed, bones and teeth, helping keep bones strong and joints flexible. A recent study from the American Journal of Geriatric Nutrition showed that older adults with higher blood magnesium levels tend to have lower rates of fractures, better standing balance, and even faster reflexes when they stumble. This is especially important because a fall at age 70 is not just a bruise. It can be the beginning of a series of prolonged complications, even the loss of the ability to walk independently. Why is magnesium so easily deficient in older adults? Because prolonged stress, medications, and a poor diet silently deplete the body's magnesium stores. Many common medications, such as diuretics, blood pressure medications, and acid-suppressing stomach medications, all cause more magnesium to be excreted. And processed foods, which are low in fiber and minerals, make up a large part of the diet for many older adults today. If you find yourself frequently experiencing cramps, tired legs after standing for a long time, difficulty relaxing when sleeping, or lack of endurance when walking, your body may be crying out for magnesium. Supplementing with magnesium through food or oral supplements is completely safe if the dosage is properly controlled. In particular, magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate are two forms that are easily absorbed and less likely to cause digestive upset. Magnesium-rich foods are easy to find. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, avocados, black beans, spinach, and whole grains. I often advise patients to have oatmeal for breakfast with walnuts or chia seeds, which are good for the heart and also help supplement natural magnesium. One thing I always find amazing is that when magnesium levels are restored, the legs not only cramp less, but also react faster, joints become more flexible, and especially sleep becomes more peaceful. Many people think they only need sleeping pills to improve their long nights, but sometimes the right mineral at the right time is exactly what the body needs most. I often conclude with my patients like this. Healthy legs don't just rely on strong muscles, but also on the smooth coordination between the nervous system, muscles, and minerals like magnesium. When these gears mesh together, you'll clearly see one thing. Every step becomes lighter, steadier, and full of confidence. So, if you're feeling that your legs are acting strangely, don't blame it all on old age. Maybe you just need a little magnesium to get everything back in rhythm. I've encountered numerous cases of complaints about morning leg cramps, numbness, or trembling just after getting out of bed. These seemingly minor signs are often overlooked, but in reality, they are silent warnings from the body, especially about potassium deficiency, an essential mineral that is very easily lacking in older adults. Potassium acts like a delicate balancer in the body. It helps maintain the stability between the amount of fluid inside and outside cells, a crucial condition for smooth and rhythmic muscle function. When potassium levels in the blood drop, even a simple movement like flexing your toes or stepping out of bed can trigger a painful contraction, as sharp as a knife cut. It doesn't stop there. Older adults with poor circulation or muscles that have deteriorated with age are even more susceptible, and the consequences can be more serious than we think. Many of my patients have shared that their legs often tremble after standing for a long time, or they feel like a weight is pressing down on their knees every time they try to get up from a chair. Some feel stiffness in their leg joints, taking several minutes before they can move. These are very typical signs of potassium deficiency. Because potassium helps transmit nerve impulses from the brain to the muscles, a lack of it makes it difficult for the brain to command the legs. As a result, older adults are more prone to losing balance, muscle weakness, and unfortunately, falls. Something we all want to avoid as we age. An interesting point that many people don't realize is that potassium also affects bone density, not just a nutrient for muscles. Potassium also plays a role in neutralizing excess acids in the body, helping prevent calcium loss from bones. Studies show that people with potassium-rich diets have higher bone density, a lower risk of osteoporosis, and most importantly, maintain leg strength, helping preserve independence in old age. We cannot underestimate this, especially knowing that potassium-rich foods are very easy to find and incorporate into our daily diet. I often advise my patients to supplement potassium through simple foods such as bananas, soft, easy to digest, and rich in potassium. Avocados, not only good for the heart, but also extremely rich in electrolytes. Spinach, beans, oranges, sweet potatoes, and even baked potatoes with skin. All are natural superfoods that provide long-term benefits for leg health. However, not everyone can absorb enough potassium through food alone, especially those with digestive issues or restricted diets. In such cases, I often provide detailed advice on the use of potassium supplements, but also emphasize the need to adhere to the recommended daily dosage. For older adults, a reasonable amount is usually 3,400 milligrams per day for men and 2,600 milligrams per day for women. And of course, those with kidney disease, high blood pressure, or who are taking medications that affect potassium levels should consult their doctor before using any supplements. The amazing thing is that when potassium levels are restored, I often see a significant change in patients after just a few weeks. They tell me that their legs no longer tremble, morning cramps disappear, and their steps become more stable and lighter. Some even share that they sleep better because they no longer wake up in the middle of the night due to leg pain. That's not magic, it's science, the result of meeting the body's true needs. The conclusion I've drawn after 20 years of working in elderly health is that potassium is a silent but indispensable friend on the journey to maintaining healthy legs and an independent life. It supports the transmission of signals between the brain and muscles, improves the ability to control movement, and helps us maintain balance and smooth coordination when moving, which is very important for living actively, happily, and healthily in old age. Not everyone falls because of weak bones. Many fall because of trembling legs, muscle weakness, or an unsteady gait. And among the myriad causes of this condition, there's a small but significant vitamin that we very easily overlook, vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine. If calcium is a brick that builds a skeletal framework, then vitamin B6 is the silent nerve that connects every movement in the body, helping muscles, joints, and the nervous system coordinate harmoniously like an orchestra. Without B6, even the strongest muscles can become loose and weak, and sadly, this is often mistaken for natural aging. I've met many older adults who complain, "Doctor, lately I've been feeling tingling and numbness in my feet, and some days when I walk, it's like I can't feel the ground." Or, "I walk unsteadily, almost fell a few times, but the doctor's diagnosis didn't find anything strange, just said it's due to old age." But in reality, symptoms like numb feet, tingling, a wobbly gait, and loss of sensation in the fingertips and toes can all be signs of vitamin B6 deficiency, not just simply getting old. Vitamin B6 is crucial for nerve function and communication between nerve cells and muscles. When deficient, the electrical signals, the ones that allow us to walk steadily or grip accurately, are sent slowly or incorrectly. The result is trembling legs, slow reflexes, like a flickering light bulb because it doesn't have enough power. Besides, vitamin B6 is also necessary for muscle recovery and growth. It helps the body use protein efficiently. And as you know, protein is the building block of muscles. Without B6, even if we eat enough meat and fish, the body cannot properly utilize that protein to nourish muscles, causing them to gradually atrophy over time, especially in the legs and arms, the most vulnerable areas when we don't exercise much. I remember a 72-year-old gentleman who came for a checkup because after walking for about 15 minutes, he felt pain in his thigh muscles and his legs were so tired he had to sit down to rest. After examination, I found he had a significant B6 deficiency, along with mild signs of anemia. When he was supplemented with a B6, rich diet and improved nutrition, after just 3 weeks, he could walk continuously for 30 minutes without feeling as tired as before. Why is that? Because vitamin B6 not only helps muscle recovery, but also participates in the production of red blood cells, the cells that carry oxygen throughout the body. When red blood cells are healthy, oxygen is transported adequately to the muscles, helping us maintain endurance and avoid fatigue during light activities like walking, climbing stairs, or simply standing to cook for 15 minutes. Conversely, vitamin B6 deficiency can lead to latent anemia, making muscles thirsty for oxygen, causing early fatigue and weak limbs even if we haven't done much. Another great benefit of B6 is its ability to reduce muscle inflammation and combat fatigue related to inflammation, which is very important for older adults, as many have degenerative joints, and just working for a while causes back pain, knee pain, and stiff neck. Supplementing with B6 helps the body fight the underlying inflammatory process, supports faster recovery after exertion, and helps maintain flexibility in movement. So how do we increase vitamin B6 naturally? I often advise patients to supplement through their daily meals. Here are some B6 rich foods that you should include in your diet. Chicken, breast, or thigh meat, boiled or lightly grilled. Fish, especially salmon and tuna, which are rich in B6 and also provide omega-3s good for the heart. Bananas, very convenient, easy to eat, and contain a sufficient amount of B6 daily. Boiled potatoes, green beans, or whole grains, familiar foods that many people have eaten since they were young. If you are experiencing issues such as slow muscle recovery, muscle fatigue during light work, unsteady walking, trembling limbs, or feel your body weakening rapidly despite eating well, then reconsider the amount of vitamin B6 in your diet. It may be the missing piece in your journey to maintain steady legs and live a healthier life every day. As we get older, we often think we have to accept weakening, aches, and not being able to walk as we used to. But the truth is, the human body, at any age, has the ability to recover and improve if we take care of it properly and at the right time. A small change in diet, A small brick in the house of health like potassium, vitamin K, vitamin B6 can be the difference between a day of steady walking and having to hold on to walls with every step. I don't expect you to remember every detail, every food type, but I hope that after this video, you can look at your health with new eyes, gentler, more knowledgeable, and more proactive. And if you found this video helpful, inspiring, or simply made you feel more at ease, then please press the like button to support me, and to not miss such heartwarming sharing in the future. Stories about health, old age, and peaceful living. Please press the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that whenever I have a new video, you'll be the first to see it. Because sometimes just a small piece of information at the right time can help us avoid a fall, a hospital stay, or simply maintain the joy of living every day. I wish you all good health, steady steps, and a truly peaceful life with your children, grandchildren, and yourselves. See you in the upcoming videos.